Hi, Deb Frew again from the Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe, our sixth year. Can you believe it? We have over 100 people coming, and this year we have the photographer I've been waiting to come into the picture. Cynthia Jones, I met online simply because she is friends with a lot of my Facebook friends, and she has taken photographs of many of my Facebook friends. And I never was putting two and two together until I saw one particular typical, you would say, headshot. But when I looked at that picture, it reached out and grabbed me. And I thought, that's the person that I want to come and photograph all of us because she has such a beautiful artistic eye. She can make a gorgeous composition, but what it all boils down to is Cynthia Jones of Cynvision Photography is an artist. And because she is an artist, she merges with her subjects. And honestly, I feel her photography speaking to me, and I want all of you to experience her too. Plus, she's a wonderful woman. So I'd like to introduce you to Cynthia Jones. Hi, Cynthia.
Wow, Deb. Well, thank you for painting such a glorious picture of me. I am astounded by what you just said. I am so looking forward to creating the full force of your deep emotional tribe and the event that you're cooking up right now in front of me. It is going to be a sublime privilege to really capture the emotion of what's going to happen there. And I, too, like you, have been watching what's percolating in the last year. As you mentioned, many of the people that you know, I know, but I haven't never met. But I do feel like we've been forever friends. So that's wonderful, and I'm so elated to be invited to this event. You have no idea. It's going to be deeply healing for me.
I want to say that a huge satisfaction that I get in my life is meeting my Facebook friends face to face, and especially people whose work just really moves me. So I'm very excited to have you come and meet everybody at the event. I know it's just going to be so much fun. But I want to ask you, how long have you been doing this sort of like, okay, so we all started taking pictures when we were little kids, but when did you know that you were creating art from your soul? When did that moment come?
Well, that's a beautiful question because it's many layered. I've been an artist all my life, but I haven't owned that aspect of who I am for, I'd say my midlife is when I really embraced it. If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I would say as an artist, I came here to live out loud. And that's a quote that I did not write myself, but I tend to breathe it in and out. As a creative empathic spark and a co-creator, I've been doing this for about 15 years now, and actively as an artist and photographer for about 12. So,
well, I got to say,
it
shows.
In my hand. Thank you so much, and really working with healing women and healing the healing modalities, both men and women, trying to help them create their vision and moving that forward has been, a listening experience for me, listening with my eyes, using my camera. I would say as a painter, I like to paint with color, but as a photographer, it really is it's a unique thing to capture not only just the what the person is trying to say, but you're using composition and design also in that. And I will step back and tell you one of the reasons why I feel I'm very successful at this is not so much because I'm an artist, but I'm also a businesswoman. And in my former corporate life as a global brand manager, I spent 15 years putting those not so pretty images together to create a story that would make an impact that would sell a product. So I have the nuts and bolts background too, to say, all right, this is what we need to accomplish. Let's use our time and materials wisely. Let's have a budget, and let's get this production together. So there's also from the artistic standpoint, I could be doing this and not worrying about time and space, and just creating images and spending money wildly at it. But there's the common sense aspect to business, and creativity has to flow along with that mindset, to be very articulate and very wise about the timeline of production. And that's where sometimes the two hands or the two heads don't always meet, but the intention is always there to create the best value. And
sure.
At any given point in time, we want to use our time wisely, and we want to tell the truth. And that's really why I love working with this, your friends and my friends, because it really is about the truth, and the truth of their soul and their calling is actually mine. So it is the same. If we were to look at a picture of ourselves 6 months ago, you'd say, who is that woman? That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
right.
Yes, it is. There's a part of it that was, but we're always emerging and always changing, and we have to honor that. And it's not always a pretty picture. Sometimes it's a sad picture. Sometimes it's confused. Sometimes that's one of the reasons why I love photographing, not so much the typical infant, because they're screaming, or they're fussy, or they got poop in their pants, or whatever it is that makes those wonderful expressions. That's the real essence of who that little being is. And
exactly. In the moment, that's who they are.
Right. And so I think around your fireside at your event, we're going to see the same kind of reflection. Not, it's never my goal to ever embarrass anyone, or, I have a personal and professional high level of respect. I would never put out an image that would embarrass someone or shame them, or, I'm very mindful of the respect aspect. It's a privilege to be able to bring forth visual imagery, or the alchemy of that. But given that said, there's a lot of, when someone's being wild and abandoned, and, it's also giving others permission to do the same. So if I capture a candid image, and that's why so often you'll see me change my images on Facebook, I'm giving others permission to play too. I can put up the typical picture of myself in my portrait and say, well, that's it. That's me as a photographer, or that's me as a businesswoman. But I like to play too, and I like to encourage that play in others. So that's why I love the Facebook format, because it is a slideshow of how I feel today.
Very true. So you've mentioned global brand management and candids and event type things, and we did sort of just jump right over the headshots, but just so people know what range of talents that you bring to the table, because I'm believing, since you already have such a huge following of people who have literally come to you for their professional photography, that perhaps you'd like to just go ahead and say what all the types of photography you do, so that they can consider you for those types of work.
Well, thank you for, of course, promoting me in that aspect. I hope that the people that I work with once, I work with them again, and as their businesses and lives evolve, from friends and family, when there's a life event in their life that they want to honor, somebody's wedding perchance, or a family gathering is an example of something that I'm privileged to be able to photograph. I do everything from Rainbow Bridge animals, or senior animals, and that's a very privileged and hard thing sometimes to photograph, but photographing maybe the last pet portrait is just as important as the first to the person that I'm taking it for.
Sure.
That's something I do. I also do product marketing, whether it's, for example, someone has crystals in their shop, or they've designed a perfume or a T-shirt. I do that, that kind of photography.
Okay.
I do fine arts photography, where some of my images are from maybe one of my travels, or some sort of real estate or architecture has been chosen to be promoted in a gallery or a show. That is something else I offer. And then I do the target brand marketing of anybody's business too. So it's not just them. Perhaps it's their staff. It's their staff in action. I do that kind of photography. I do some wild woman things. I do a lot of boudoir and not just implied nude, but nude photography for private galleries or private people want to do something special for themselves or their loved ones. I do that. So that's not really promoted here, but I do that quite a bit. And that I love doing that because as a woman who's gained and lost a lot of weight in her life, it's important to embrace yourself, who you are. And
true.
That's been a really wonderful process for me to help others embrace their divine feminine when I'm helping them play in that aspect too. So that's fun to do. What else do I do? I'm also an artist and photographer. I'm an artist too, so I like to paint and sculpt, and I'm doing some mixed media collaging, and that work, of course, is available too.
Wow. Well, I want to ask you about one thing that you had mentioned to me in passing recently, and we never really got a chance to have a conversation about. What is your moving mandala work?
Oh, that's really great of you to ask. Thank you so much. Well, I was experimenting with a video projector. I really like working with textures and shapes, and I happen to enjoy things like tattoo art, but I never would really want to have that on me permanently. But in some of my creative process, I do, for example, honey shoots or color shoots where I'm actually or body painting, or I'll have an artist do some body painting. And when I was doing that collaboratively with someone, I got the idea of projecting color on a body or on a face and photographing it that way. And it was great because we didn't have to, when you're projecting that saturated color or that movement on someone while they're moving, that and the music is playing. It is like a moving meditation. But visually it's stunning, and
I agree.
Thank you very much. But it's also not messy. It helps, rinsing that all off at someone afterwards, after it's been drying under lights, is not fun. I've done it myself, and I can tell you that this is a lot more fun and freeing because we can play with the colors the person likes, or we can just experiment with texture, or butterflies or flowers or whatever it is can be projected on that person's face or their body, and that makes fine art. I can just show you a small example based on one or two of my images, and you will agree it's very dynamic, and I love doing it. I hope to do more.
There is one in the slideshow that accompanies this interview, so
great.
People will be able to get a picture of that in their minds. Cynthia, I just wanted to say you have such a breadth of inspiration and talent, and you just seem to be creating as you go. And I just can't wait to see how you capture this event, because this year it's going to be just amazing, and to have it captured in such a way that I can say to people, look at these pictures and see what you missed. Come on and see it again, because and call Cynthia, because she's the one who did this, and she's the one who sparked your interest and made you want to be learning about it and attending. And that's the kind of thing that people don't realize, the power of images. And I can see it in your work, and so I'm just dying to see how this all comes out at the end when we're all finished on August 11th or 12th or 13th, however long it takes you to, put it all together. So I want to thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. I hope everybody who is listening is as excited as I am to meet Cynthia. Come up and say hello and let her just go. She's just going to be free and take all the pictures she wants, and then we'll get to see them. So I'm terribly excited about it all. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Oh, Deb, it's such a powerful, what you've just said is it really speaks to my heart. It's such a privilege to collaborate with you in an event I know you're holding so closely in your heart. And for me, it's just what I would call a delicious guilty pleasure. I'm expecting many, many wonderful hugs. When I'm not shooting, I will be crawling on my belly to get all of the glee that's going to happen and all of the powerful, deep emotional truth. And I will be working very hard. It's going to be great fun for me. I hope it's not 110 degrees, but I will weather it. No matter what happens, we will have a great time. I'm sure it will be something I'll never forget as long as I live. So I am truly looking forward to being with all of you, and I thank you so much for inviting me. I almost get teary talking about it, but I know it will be a defining moment in my life.
Well, thank you, and we will see you on the 10th.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.